Hi, and this is Jennifer Lewis with Three Chicks in a Pod coming to you from Radio Row. And I have the privilege of talking with Miss Ashley Adamson today. And Ashley, I can introduce yourself. Well, Ashley, you are a Pac-12 reporter.
Yes.
You also have a really cool podcast that's just launched recently.
Thank you.
With some really cool product over there that y'all have too.
Yeah. Oh, you set me up perfectly. That was a nice underhanded pitch. Yeah. I've been working at the Pac-12 network for 11 years almost, which is crazy. Which is where I met my podcast co-host Lisa McCaffrey, because I was covering her son Christian when he was at Stanford. And yeah, we had an opportunity to come out here. We talked about it. We actually met exactly a year ago yesterday.
Oh.
We met up in LA. Totally, she just agreed to meet me in LA. We rented out a podcast studio. We met at a Starbucks, went to a podcast studio and recorded a pilot episode and then an interview with Sam Darnold's mom, Chris Darnold.
Yes.
And I think now, fast forward a year later, it's kind of surreal to be sitting here on Radio Row. And yeah, we've got a couple partnerships with Flex Power and Body Armor, and it's kind of surreal. And it's nice to pause every now and then, because you get in the rat race of all the things that you're doing in your life, and you forget, we've done some stuff in here. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting far.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing for you, and for Lisa as well. So I've asked a couple of other female reporters this. I have to ask you.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to know that you're impacting women's lives, like my age, as well as young girls, and giving them, hey, if she can do it, so can I.
Yeah. That's I think the whole point of it, right? And that's the gratifying part of it, is that and Lisa hit it on the head. We were doing some interview when we first launched, and she's amazing in that all of a sudden she'll get really vulnerable and say something that is so real and spot on. And she was saying when she was a young mom and had 4 kids and she's like, I just always felt like I was at the park by myself, because Ed was playing, working, traveling for his job. And she said, and I just felt really lonely. Mm-hmm. And I wish that I had a podcast like this. I wish I could have listened to something like this when I was in the weeds of motherhood. And so I think it speaks to not only just moms and young moms and parents and all of the rest, but working moms and women in the business, because I talk a lot about my experience just being a female in this business. And we hear from so many people, a lot of people who aren't moms, a lot of people who don't ever want to be moms, and a lot of men as well who are loving the podcast and appreciate the content and feel, there's so many people that have said that was exactly what I needed to hear today.
And it's good for men to listen to it too, because it can give them even an inkling into what their wife is feeling at that moment.
So you want to know what's funny? So we did this episode record, and my husband was home, and it was what have you learned so far? That was the question Lisa and I were kind of reflecting on when we were recording. And I said, Chris, have you learned anything from our podcast that you've listened to, just before I start this? And he paused and he goes, I've learned that moms are way too hard on themselves. You guys are so hard. And I paused, I started laughing. I'm like, God, you're so right. That's a really poignant takeaway.
Right?
Maybe dads should be a little harder on themselves. No, but it's true. I mean, I think you try and hold it all together, and there's a lot of pressure, and you pour your life into, your kids and your work and all of the rest. And it's give yourself a little more grace. So I do think that has been, it's been helpful to have some men listen to it as well, for sure.
No, I was cracking up when I was reading The Athletic to prepare for this interview, okay? And I was reading, so if you guys don't have a subscription to The Athletic,
get one.
Yeah, go get one.
It's
worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. And I trust The Athletic.
Same. I love those. They have been.
The reporters just have a lot of integrity.
Yep.
Now, how you and Lisa initially met.
Oh, yeah. So that's what's funny about the idea for this podcast, is that it started many years before we actually, launched, 7 years probably. And I was covering Christian at the Heisman in New York, 2015, when he should have won, but didn't. And we were, at the top of this fancy New York hotel for some media availability, and we were doing these different things. And I had done the interview with Lisa, and by the way, anyone who's interviewed Lisa, talked to her for 5 seconds. She's a firecracker.
I love her.
She's hilarious. She's amazing. She's so witty. My face hurts from laughing every time I'm talking to her or do a recording with her. And in any event, I see, I think Christian had 1 or 2 of his brothers there, but they're lining up to take a family picture, and she gives him a I don't know if she like pinched him or I can't remember what she did something to him. She was like, Christian, like stand up. Can you smile? Like, can you not do your bad smile? Can you do your good smile? And he was just like, Mom. And he was so exasperated. And he just like rolled his eyes and walked away. And I just started dying laughing because Christian, up until that point, all of my experiences had been as this very polished Stanford football player who always knew the right thing to say and was very even. And he was so annoyed by his mom. And I'm like, oh, he's just a son. He's a kid who's annoyed by his mom. Like, it was very humanizing. And I just thought Lisa is so amazing at humanizing. She's got a superstar for a son. She's married to a former superstar wide receiver. And I think her superpower is that she just makes you feel like she brings you in. They're people, they're humans.
Yeah.
And they're families. And we put these stars on pedestals.
Yeah.
And then when you actually peel it back and realize, like, yeah, he's just a kid. He's just a son. He's got a mom who still drives him nuts.
We all do.
So that was where, like, the
awesome.
Beginning seeds of the idea came up, and then it took me about 6 or 7 years to actually give her a call and ask her to do it. And she said yes before I even got the pitch out. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm a huge Carolina Panthers fan.
Okay.
And
so
Jay, this comes to you.
Yeah.
When they traded Christian, I was like, oh, and my friend Jay made a comment in the group chat, and I was like, too soon. This just happened.
The wounds are still fresh.
So I was fortunate. I met Christian one night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, he was like leaving another player's apartment who lived in my apartment complex at the time or something, like traveling. Like, I don't know. I just remember garment, like whatever. And I wanted to fangirl out on him, and I did not. I was so proud of myself. I was just like, but I was like, those blue eyes, I know that's Christian. Those shoulders.
Yeah, I see those shoulders anywhere.
Yeah, I was like really happy. Then I saw Lisa the other day. I was like, I've got to get her. I was like, I have to. And 2 of the guys started laughing at me. I was like, wait, her podcast host is. So I listened to your podcast this week, and I was like, and Ashley Adamson is her podcast host. That's awesome.
No, it's been a gift, and I think the thing that's been the best, just personally, not only do I get to, like, in real time, I've got a 6 and a 3-year-old at home,
right?
So I'm like meeting these amazing moms who then are giving me real time advice and perspective of what they went through as they reflect back, and that's really, it's better than any parenting book I could be reading. Certainly, is getting to talk to these women. But I think truly the best part about it is Lisa has become one of my best friends. Like, she really
watching you two, the camaraderie between y'all up there, the affection is real. It's genuine.
It is. I love her. I really do.
I love it. And like, I do my 3 chicks in a pod, and that's how it is with my girls and I.
And it comes through. I think that's true for anyone who does anything on the air. The people that you connect with off the air, when the relationships are real, and especially when you started working together for a long time, you like speak a different language.
Right.
And I know when she's gonna do, we both know, sometimes we'll say the exact same thing. I'm like,
that's awesome.
But yeah, she's incredible, and it's been a gift to be able to, if nothing else, even if no one ever listens to that podcast, if all we ever do is lose money on it, becoming friends with her and being able to have that, like, real relationship has been the biggest gift for sure.
And that's amazing. And
because that's what it's about.
It is. It's about forming the friendships, and it's about, like, for us, it's just 3 chicks talking sports, and you guys have that other caveat, which is awesome.
How did you guys start?
So I really have been thinking about doing it for about 4 or 5 years, and I'd been talking to my friend Carrie about it, like Kean and Hein. And then I said, I really want to bring Megan in. And Megan is our basketball girl. Like, she loves her dumb boys. Sorry, I didn't mean to roll my eyes, Megan. I love you.
Love you, Megan.
And Carrie is our Chiefs chick. So I have to get her some paraphernalia this week. But so it's just like the 3 of us ladies, and now we have Candy Ebeling on as well. We've got another podcast, Chicks and Salsa, and we added Candy on because we just love talking sports. Awesome. So I'm a football girl. I know some about the NBA, a little bit about soccer, not much.
That's more than most people.
Yeah. And Megan knows the same. Like, she knows more about NBA. She is a WNBA queen. If y'all ever want to talk WNBA, hit my girl up.
He'll be done.
Does she know any WNBA moms? I'm like, WNBA, I want to tap into
I don't know.
that.
I can reach out.
Yeah. I think WNBA is, I love, those women are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And they don't get paid enough.
No.
And they don't. There's so much. There's a lot there, but I've gotten to know some of those women, especially because a lot of Pac-12 players go, balling out in the WNBA, and I
They really
love
are.
that. Yeah.
And I loved it. I had the privilege of covering the ACC Media Tip-Off Day.
Oh, nice.
And I was so impressed by Coach Moxie, Coach Littlejohn. And Littlejohn has her work cut out for her at Syracuse.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's where I got my start.
Is it?
Syracuse, Yep.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was my first full-time on-air job.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I want to have you on our Three Chick show. I know time is limited.
Yeah.
But Ashley, thank you so much for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
And I'd love to give you this cigar.
I mean,
It's
this
from
is
the SGC.
officially.
I know.
Give the SGC.
SGC Foundation. It's the charity golf tournament for kids.
It's doing it for the kids.
It is. She's going to do it for the kids. And Steve Gonzer is the CEO and founder of it.
Love you, Steve.
Help the kids out, guys.
I didn't think I was going to get a start from the podcast.
What?
I didn't know